Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to My Yoga Time. Today I have an end of year practice for you, but of course this class can be practiced at any time of the year, month or day. So the intention in this one is to twist and cleanse the body and mind of any tension, stress and toxins. So often at the end of the year, people start to consider what they'd like to achieve in the next year, setting new intentions, New Year's resolutions, for example. But before you get to that stage, I want to encourage you to take a step back, first to clear the mind and release the body so that you've got more space to plant those intentions. So yoga philosophy states that much of our sadness and suffering is created by our attachment to material things, to the people around us, and even our internal thoughts and feelings. Wise words from Buddha: the secret of happiness lies in the mind's release of worldly ties. If we have a pleasurable experience, it's natural to desire it again. An attachment is formed, causing discomfort or pain. Then what yogis called Raja has formed. So Raja manifests in us and can arise due to any sensory or emotional attachment. Raja is one of the powerful causes of human suffering because it insists that outside experiences are the root of our happiness. We're often confused in thinking that long-lasting happiness comes from external worldly things, such as food, people, jobs, material things, even reputations. All of these things are in a constant state of flux, always changing. Attachment to that which inevitably changes will cause suffering. If we are able to soften, dissipate or remove our attachments, we can free ourselves from much of our suffering and discomfort. Detachment from desires clears out clutter in the consciousness and thus allows us to experience greater levels of peace and tranquility in our lives. So it's okay to enjoy a coffee in the morning or dessert or sugar in your tea, only if you're okay when you don't get it. So if you notice a resistance within when going without, then an attachment has formed. So consider taking baby steps. Maybe 1.5 teaspoons of sugar instead of 2 in your tea, or 1 cup of coffee in the morning instead of 2. By taking those smaller steps, your progress is more likely to be sustainable. So a key step towards attaining freedom in yoga is to become aware of our attachments. It's certainly not easy, but we need to see them clearly in order to let them go. Once we have cultivated that awareness of an attachment, we need to accept it as it is. By accepting our attachments, they tend to lose their hold over us. We gain freedom and power to move beyond them. So I encourage you during this practice and after to consider what attachments you may have and be honest with yourself. Now, I'm certainly not sitting up here saying I don't have any attachments, because I certainly do, but I'm very aware of them and I work with them every day. So today's class, with that detox, twist and cleanse in mind, we're going to be working with the lateral lines in the body and also the spiral lines. And this will hopefully help us to clear the mind and identify those attachments with a little more ease. The mudra we'll be using today is a Pan mudra, so we'll connect the middle and ring finger to the tip of the thumb. So a Pan mudra is also known as the mudra for detoxification and purifying the body. Moving with nature's rhythms, following that detoxification process, comes new beginnings. So I have got one bolster for this practice. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you can improvise with 2 or 3 pillows, stack them on top of each other, or maybe a really thick blanket that's rolled up. I've also got 2 blocks for this practice. And let's begin coming into a laying side bend. So we will use the bolster or your pillows for this first posture, coming into the right side. Laying the ribs across the bolster, you want to bring your shoulder down to the mat and the ear if you can. Now, if your head doesn't meet the floor with ease, then place your block underneath. Don't leave the head hanging and the neck strained. So to begin with, we'll start with our knees bent and bring the left palm to touch the right. Let's gently place the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth, keeping the jaw relaxed throughout the practice, but trying to tone the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. As you begin to inhale now, let's raise the left arm above the head. Just see if you can trace those fingers along the floor. And then as you exhale, begin to float that left arm down. The palms can reunite. Inhaling up and overhead, take a moment to pause. And exhale to lower. So as you lift that hand up, just see if you can maybe take the hand a little further back, maybe even behind the shoulder line. Exhale to lower. And then this time as I inhale, I'm going to keep the arm above the head. But if you've got any discomfort in your shoulder, then bring those palms back together. Feel as though you almost want to rotate the heart towards the ceiling. We'll take a palm, we'll draw through your right hand. And begin to feel the breath moving the side body. If you're looking for a little deeper sensation, you can start to straighten those legs. And let's inhale to push up from the pose, changing sides. Beginning with both knees bent, both palms touching. Again, if there's any concerns with your right shoulder, just keep those palms together. Otherwise, begin to move with the breath. Inhale to lift the arm up. Exhale to float the arm down. Feel free to keep the arm above the head now if that feels comfortable. Taking a palm, we'll draw through your left hand. Option to straighten those legs. And be with the breath, moving the body. And let's release the pose. Bring that right arm down now, pushing yourself up. Coming into tabletop position. We'll just roll that bolster to the side. We won't need it for a little while now. So in your tabletop position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, just a few cat-cow stretches. Beginning to warm the spine. Tip of the tongue is still placed where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And let's move into a very brief puppy pose, extending those arms in front, either keeping those arms straight or taking hands to prayer above the head. And let's release that pose, coming on up. Bring the knees together now and take both feet over to the left side of the mat. Sit the bottom back towards the heels and then also take the hands over to the left side of the mat. So it's another side bend there. Breathing into the right side body. Let's inhale to come up, change sides, move the feet over to the right side, bottom sinks back, hands walk over to the right. And coming back to center now, return to tabletop. This time we'll curl those toes under, inhale into your back bend. As you exhale, rounding the spine and then lifting up into your downward facing dog. Holding here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, return those knees to the mat. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale to round. pressing into the pads of the fingers. Let's do one more round. Holding this downward facing dog now. If you have the urge to walk out the legs or even turn the head from side to side, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, coming to stillness, inhale the right leg up. Look forward, step through into a high lunge, press into both feet as you bring the arms up. So as though you're stretching the mat with the feet, reaching up through the fingertips, turning those pinky fingers in. Let's inhale. And exhale, tilt the body forward, reach the hands back, palms shining towards the ceiling, crown of the head reaching forward. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale. Last one. Exhale, hands down to frame the right foot. From here, rock back a little, step your left foot up, but cross the left leg behind the right, so your pinky toes are next to one another. Then press the outside blades of the feet in towards one another as you reverse swan dive to come up. Once you've come up, right hand takes a hold of the left wrist, lift up and lean over. Breathe into the side body. Back to center, uncross those legs, swan dive. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Right leg back. High lunge, press into both feet. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the body forward. Reaching through the fingers and the crown of the head. Strong bend in your left knee. Steady the breath. Inhale to come up. Exhale to twist. Exhale, hands down. Stepping right foot up, crossing it behind the left, pressing into both feet as you reverse swan dive. Left hand's taking the right wrist this time, lift up and lean over. And let's release. Uncross those legs, come back to center. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold, left leg back, warrior two. Windmill those arms up. Taking a little flow here, and throughout this flow, continue to press those feet away from one another. Let's reverse the warrior as we inhale. Side angle pose as you exhale, elbow to knee, left hand sweeps down and overhead, palm mudra through the right hand. Hold here as you inhale, and then exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale, exhale. Spacious in-breath into the side body. Exhale. So third one now, staying down this time, either keeping the elbow on the knee, or maybe you can lower the hand to the block or to the floor. Feel free to look down if the neck is strained, or back towards the armpit. One last inhalation, and as you exhale, picking up the back heel, high lunge, three-legged dog. Take the right leg up and back. Let's open out the hip, bend the knee, look under your armpit. And then straighten the legs, square the hips, pigeon pose, right knee to the right wrist. Lengthen the left leg behind you. This is not an option due to knee or hip injuries. Lean off over to the right and bend both legs instead. Left thigh, right shin running parallel to each other, and then fold off over to the right. Otherwise, for pigeon pose, Keep back toes tucked under just for a moment and lift the inner thigh. Look for an inward rotation. Then relax the toes. Feel free to fall forward, maybe onto your bolster, your blocks, or your hands. And let's inhale out of the pose now. Returning to your downward facing dog. Feel free to give the legs a little walk out. And then when you're ready, left leg up. Look forward, step through, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Staying down now. Exhale. Take the variation that feels most comfortable for your body. The variation where you can still breathe with ease. And let's frame the foot now, lifting up, three-legged dog. Option to lift the hip, bend the knee, look under your armpit. And then squaring those hips, taking that left knee through for pigeon pose, or same as before, you can roll to your side and bend both legs. And let's inhale out of the pose. Return to your downward facing dog. Feel free to give the legs a little walk once again. And when you're ready, step up to the top of the mat. If your blocks are close by, just take a hold of those blocks. Feel free to roll up to stand. From here, we'll take a wide-legged position. You may or may not need the blocks for this next flow. Have them close by just in case. Option one, they'll go on the high side inside the feet. Maybe you can take them to the outside edges of the feet. So legs nice and wide, slight pigeon toe. Even here, try to press the feet away from one another. Lift up through the arches of the feet and the kneecaps. Arms will come out to the side. This is a dynamic flow. Inhaling here, then twisting as you exhale, right hand either to the block, the leg, or maybe the top of the foot. Inhale to come back up. Exhale other side. Inhale to come up. This time, exhale, hands behind you, interlace the fingers if you can. If not, just hold opposite elbows with the hands. Lifting the heart, and as you exhale, folding all the way down. Letting the head hang. Maybe even turning the head from side to side. Feel free to haa out the breath. Breathe away any tension along the back side of the body. Any tension or attachments behind you. Let's release those hands down, reach for your blocks. Take them to the flat side and walk your hands out as far in front as they will go. Hands on the blocks, hands forward, bottom back. And let's walk those hands with the blocks back in, up towards the top of the mat. You'll find yourself in a lunge. Step back into your last downward facing dog. Let's come forward into a plank position. Of course, you can lower those knees to the floor, or you can chaturanga all the way down. Be sure to round out the upper back, bring the body forward. Elbows to brush the ribs as you come all the way down to the mat. Once you've come down, let's have those hands under the shoulders, elbows pointing back towards your feet, tailbone tucking under, and as you inhale, lift the chest and the legs. Try and pull the hands back. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. The last one. And lower down. Turn your head to one side, take a brief rest. And then from here, roll over onto your back. So using our blocks very soon, have them close by, and then bring your feet close to your bottom. Taking a Pan Mudra, palms facing up. Let's press into the feet as we lift the hips up into your active bridge pose. Gently pressing down into the feet, the shoulders, the back of the head. Inhale, and pick up those heels. Exhale to lower down. When you meet the mat, take the feet as wide as the mat, then the knees can fall in to touch. From here, bring the feet a little closer, lifting those hips up once again. Two choices now, yogis. Either one block on the flat side underneath your tailbone, or two blocks stacked on top of one another. You might even like to move the blocks a touch higher so they're more underneath the bottom, not so much the tailbone, because here we're going to lift up those legs. So you might choose to hold onto the blocks or release the blocks and find a Pan Mudra once again. So if you can bring the feet ever so slightly more towards the head, you'll find less effort for those deer hip flexors. Looking here to find that balance between effort and surrender. You might like to point the toes as you inhale, flex the feet as you exhale. So this practice, along with most yoga practices, is also very therapeutic for the lymphatic system. So keeping in line with our twist, cleanse and detox class. Certainly therapeutic to help that lymphatic system to pump and release. Feel free to continue that movement through the feet, or you might like to come to stillness for the last few breaths. From here, let's bend the knees and lower the feet down. If you're on the two blocks, let's lift the hips and remove one. So we're all resting on one block now on the flat side. Lifting up those feet once again. Inhale, take the legs out nice and wide. And then as you exhale, cross the right leg over the left. You're bending at the knees and pull the knees in close to the chest. Or maybe you can reach the ankles or the outer edges of the feet. And let's release, unravel those legs. Inhale the legs out wide. Exhaling, other side, left over the right. Either collect the knees, the ankles, or the feet. Let's breathe away any last bit of tension in the lower back, the outer hips. And let's unravel those legs. Lower the feet to the floor. You might like a few breaths here with those knees bent, or if it feels okay for your back, you can straighten and relax the legs. When you're ready, let's bend those knees. Lift up the heels and the hips together. Remove the block. Lower down one vertebrae at a time. Touching down here, let's take a hold of those knees. Exhale to bend the elbows. Inhale to straighten the arms. We'll come up to seated in just a moment. You can either roll to one side and push yourself up, or you can cross at the ankles, hold onto the opposite big toes, and roll your way up to seated. 2 or 3 is always nice along the spine. And coming all the way up. So let's extend the right leg out in front. Cross the left leg over the right. Now here you want to create a little lock between the ankle and the outer knee. So gently press them in towards one another, keeping that left big toe knuckle pressing down. Feel free to keep this right leg straight. If your hips permit, bend that knee as well. If you're tight in the hips, then elevate them, sit up on the block. So if you are bending this right knee, that foot is flexed as well. Taking a twist now, just holding onto the knee. Maybe you can hook the elbow or even lower those right fingertips to the sole of the foot. If you are staying up here, always an option to take a palm mudra. As you inhale, feel the breath descend and the navel expand. As you exhale, gently draw the navel in towards the spine. Let's release to the front. Option 1 now, you'll release those legs and cross the left leg in front of the right so that the feet is underneath the knee. Option 2, from this position, you'll come into cow face pose, just dropping that left knee down on top of the right. A little side bend here, left hand down, cactus arm through the right arm. As you exhale, leaning over, and then inhale back to center. 2 more. Staying down now, either keep that cactus arm or you can take a palm mudra and the back of the hand to the low back. Inhale to come up. Let's fall forward now over those legs, allowing the back to round. Inhale to come back up. One last twist here to the right. So back of the right palm to the outer knee is option one. Option two, take a hold of that left foot with your right hand, straighten the leg. So you want to kick the foot into the hand, hand into the foot, and then take the left arm up behind you. And let's release. Lean back wherever you are. Switch those knees from side to side. When you're ready, extend the left leg out in front, crossing right leg over, finding that little lock between the knee and the ankle. Option to bend your left leg as well. Taking your variation of the twist. Continue to press down through that right big toe knuckle. Deepen the twist by deepening your breath. Let's exhale to the front, either crossing the legs, right leg in front of the left, or stacking right knee on top of the left knee. Coming into that side bend first. Right hand down, cactus arm through the left. Press down and away through the right palm. Inhaling back to center. Staying down this third time, either maintain that cactus arm or take the hand to the low back. Let's return to center, folding forward for a few breaths. And inhaling up, finding your twist, either back of the left palm to the knee or taking a hold of your right foot. And let's release. Give those knees a quick swish. When you're ready, we will come down onto our back. So rolling down when you're ready. Taking a hold of the left knee, moving into a twist. Take that knee over to the right. Now option one is you'll stay here in this twist. Option two, if it feels okay for your back, take your right leg back, bend the knee, and reach for the foot, so that you're experiencing a little back bend in your twist. Take one last inhalation. As you begin to exhale, release the foot to return to your back. Changing sides. Option to take the quad stretch if that feels good. If there's any jamming in your low back or the breath is strained, please stay in option one. Inhale. Exhaling, release the foot, return to your back. Let's prepare for Shavasana. I'm going to place the bolster behind my knees. You could place your pillow behind your knees or even a block under each thigh. Tucking those shoulders under, allowing the legs to fall heavy. Finding Apan Mudra once again. Softening the forehead. Letting the eyes roll back. Tongue and jaw relaxed. And just be in this spaciousness. Begin to feel the breath touch the nostrils. Or swallow if the mouth is dry. Feel free to wiggle toes and fingers. Or follow any urges to move or stretch. Thank you for practicing with me today, yogis. I hope you enjoyed that cleansing practice, and I encourage you to be mindful of your attachments each day if you can. It's best to clear away some of those attachments before we set our intention for the new year. If you enjoyed the practice and you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel, not just my channel, but any teacher that you watch on a regular basis. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely day.